Mohammed. That's how she gets Ilhan Omar. It's from her father that she claims is her father. But now we found another tweet from 2013. Happy Father's Day to my Abu Nur Saeed. I'm forever grateful to Allah for giving me the best father. Now, which one is it? By the way, the one she just said Happy Father's Day to is the guy who is the father of those who we allege is her brother. Her brother, who she married.
It would be very coincidental.
Very coincidental.
I mean, there's a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
The tweet actually ends. It says, "Thank you, grateful to Allah for giving me the best father, So it's an and then an Instagram link. So this was not a native tweet. What it was is an Instagram post that she cross-posted to Twitter. So it is cut off in the middle of this word. Now, does she say, thank you, Allah, for giving me the best father, and I wish that he was actually my real father because he's not, and I actually am. I don't know.
Can you go back to the Wayback Machine?
Unlikely.
And get
the Instagram
post?
I don't think so. It doesn't look like I tried to make it come up, and it has not come up. We could get the Wayback Machine on the tweet. Because
on the tweet we have it.
And probably the most damning part of this, right, is as soon as it was found by Caleb Hull, immediately after she deleted it. So, again,
wow. So
why...
she's got something to hide. Would seem.
And this is what, the 20th thing she's deleted since all this started? As soon as someone finds something, she starts deleting it.
We have the tweets of her saying, this is my sister, this is my brother, this is my father, here's another one. I mean, how, before it was like, well, how do you know those tweets were real? Well, because you just deleted this one. Within 2 hours of being found, you deleted it. So we know this one is true. Well, I don't need to answer unless you know that I did it. Well, the Wayback Machine shows that you did it. This one, we do know. It was posted. We have it. We had it for 2 hours. Then she deleted it. So we'll get more into that. I hope to have Caleb on with us. Caleb Hull is the guy who we think found this. He said the tweet is from 2013 on Ilhan Omar's official account. Appears to be damning evidence that she did indeed marry her brother. Wow, she probably should have deleted this one as well. All right, we welcome Pat Gray to the program, part of the Blaze lineup. You can watch him every day prior to this show. You can listen to him on Blaze Radio, or you can listen to the podcast, Pat Gray Unleashed, wherever you listen to your podcast. Great show, very, very funny, and welcome, Pat.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have you seen the story about the Chinese drug situation?
No, I have not.
Actually, it's America's drug situation that is provided to us by the Chinese. Now, see, you go to Walmart.
Are not going to believe the coincidence. Go ahead. No, tell the story.
You go to Walmart and you know just about every product there is made in China, right? I had no idea our antibiotics are made in China. I had no idea. And not only that, but also other kinds of medicine, super important medicine like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. This is the biggest advance in modern history. Most people agree antibiotics are the thing that has helped the world the most.
Yes.
It's all made in China. So American national security officials are now a little concerned about a scenario where the antibiotics and other drugs that are manufactured in China could be cut off completely. Or they could send them to us tainted with something. And because most of our supply comes from there, the vast majority of our supply comes from there, really not much we can do about it because we rely on these drugs that are manufactured mostly in China. They're growing increasingly concerned about China's potentially hostile ambitions. The pharmaceutical supply chain is receiving new scrutiny as a result. If China shut the door on exports of medicines and their key ingredients and raw material, U.S. hospitals and military hospitals and clinics would cease to function within months, if not days.
Hey, can I give you? I'm going to just read a couple of the paragraphs of a monologue I'm going to be doing later today on this broadcast.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it yesterday, so we did our homework. Not that story, on something else. Trade wars are nothing new. Neither are drug wars. History doesn't always repeat itself, but it usually rhymes. In the 17 and 1800s, China very reluctantly cracked open the door to allow limited foreign trade. It wasn't that China was opening up as much as they were just getting tired of foreign powers pestering them about trade. By the early 1800s, Great Britain was the most prolific trade power. So once China cracked open the door, the British tried to kick it in because of their insatiable thirst for tea. Silk, porcelain, big hits from China as well, but tea became the king. By the mid-1700s, tea had already made up 25% of the English East India Company imports in Europe. It didn't take long, now listen to this, for a trade balance to develop, because the Chinese liked selling their stuff to high-rolling Europeans, but they didn't have much use for the Western stuff, cotton, wool, manufactured goods. China just wasn't interested. Britain rained money on China, but they weren't getting any business in return. From the 1780s to the 1820s, Great Britain was running a deficit in the millions of pounds. So Britain had an idea on how to break this trade war. They had to find something that the Chinese would be interested in buying. The solution was a little drug called opium. Since Britain had taken over India in the late 1700s, they had plenty of access to opium, which grew well in northern India. The opium worked like a charm to help correct the trade imbalance. By the 1830s, China was importing 14 tons of British opium per year. So how did they break the trade war? Opium.
Yeah.
How are they breaking the trade war? Possibly. Why is the government looking into this right now? Because of antibiotics and other drugs that they are making for us.
Right.
That I don't think is a coincidence. That is China knowing history and us not.
Yeah. And planning for the future, because that's what China does. China plans, not a year or two in advance. They plan 50 or 100 years in advance. They're really patient. They've been around a long time. They're pretty wise, and they do things like this.
And conveniently,
they know what they're doing.
Worry about any elections.
Right.
It makes it a lot easier to plan for a long time.
Yeah, it does.
When you don't have to worry about anything.
When you got a guy who's in there for life.
Yeah, you just kind of kill everyone who doesn't like you.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier.
It also is easier to sell your product when you don't really care about standards.
True.
I mean, think of the control that they have over us if they are providing our medicine.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's chilling.
Yeah, we talk about, hey, the steel industry. Oh, we need the steel industry. Try drugs.
What
if we're not making our own drugs and antibiotics, and China is, and we go to war? You want to live like the 1860s?
It's interesting, too, because one of the reasons why the trade stuff has been damaging to the economy is because China is the one with the high standards. Like, they go to China because they have higher standards than many of the other countries we could be producing it in. Their supply chain and production processes are much more refined than other countries. So, I mean, that is it's quite a statement. It's quite a statement, especially when you're talking about ingesting drugs.
Yeah. And if they ever decide to get nasty with this, that would be a pretty good way to they could kill tens of millions of people.
Yeah.
If they tainted drugs that are going, and we might not even know what's going on, why people are dying for, a while. It would take some time to track that down. It would be a catastrophe. It would be
what are we doing about it? What's the story say we're doing about it?
It said the Pentagon is starting to take notice.
Okay, well but
they don't say exactly what we're doing, because I don't think we're doing anything right now. I don't know what we can do, because everything's produced there, from blood pressure medicine to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, epilepsy, depression medication, and the antibiotics. So unless we start taking all of that on and producing it here, which I would recommend we start doing.
I would recommend we start doing that big time, like
right away.
Yeah, or even stockpiling.
No, it's going to raise the price of those medications, which is what everyone's complaining about already.
True, but
that's something the government should do. That's something maybe the government, I'm talking about stockpiling.
Right.
Fronting enough money to stockpile it. And then, that stockpile is constantly, churned. So nothing ages.
Could you stockpile that? I mean, that is
it'd be a lot. It'd have to be
a lot. I don't know.
Of medication.
We haven't made
antibiotics and things like that.
I mean,
you don't have to have everything, but at least
antibiotics.
Life-saving medicine. Antibiotics go, you got nothing.
We haven't made penicillin in this country since 2004. That's when the last plant closed. Did we have no foresight? Didn't we never think about this in advance?
Wasn't this one of the things, if I'm remembering the story right, they had changed some of the standards. The government forced a lot of these companies out of the country. Because they had changed.
That seems familiar.
Yeah, and it was about vaccines and things like penicillin. Now, look, we all know it's more difficult to produce anything here in the United States. It's a lot more expensive. But I would think that there's certain staples, right, that you want to make sure you have access to.
Yes. Mothball.
And
mothball the factories that made it.
And if you're in the middle of a tenuous situation with a different country, like you want to spread that production out if it's possible, right? Like how much can we get from Canada?
And right.
I mean, there's because if everything's being produced in China, you are dependent on China.
And if you're thinking, that can't happen, they would never do that. Listen to this line. Maybe this will make you feel really good. A Chinese manipulation of drug ingredients or supply may seem like a fairly remote possibility, but a state-run Chinese paper this week said that there's little chance the government would deliberately harm Americans by cutting off the flow of antibiotics. There's little chance. Wait.
Oh, okay.
There is a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
That makes me feel really good. Yeah. Really good.
Thank you very much, Pat. By the way, you can find all this Ilhan Omar stuff. You can find it at YouTube. You can find the video that I did on Ilhan Omar. Just look for Ilhan Omar.
I just tweeted it too. Twitter.com/World of Stew. Or I think you're going to do it at Glenn Beck. I know the Blaze just retweeted it. If you search for Glenn Beck Ilhan Omar special on YouTube, you'll get it as well.
You'll find it. And this is one of the reasons why we really ask for your support and become a Blaze TV member. We are one of only a handful. We're the biggest news organization that has covered this. We don't believe that we are investigative reporters, but there are times when nobody else will do the investigation where we have to do it ourselves. But we're getting to a point to where the New York Times edited out the information on the Kavanaugh story. The editors took out of the story that the victim, quote unquote, had no recollection of this. Well, that's kind of the important part, isn't it? Yesterday, everybody was blaming on these writers and the writer of the book. No. It was the editors of the New York Times that did that. When you have a press organization and a global press that is not telling the people the truth, that they have safety bars around everything, I promise you this, and you know this to be true, and we have paid heavy prices for this in the past. If we believe something is true, we will tell you. We will do our homework on it, and we will tell you, even if it goes against what you want to hear. We are not playing any games with the truth. The truth will set you free, and only the truth. So if it hurts our side or anything, we'll still tell you. But how many people are doing that? Please support us. Join the Blaze now. Sign up for a year. You'll get $10 off when you use the promo code Glenn. Go to blazetv.com/Glenn. All right. Let me tell you about our sponsor this half hour. It is American Financing. I want you to be financially stable, and I want you to be financially sound. And one of the things that really worries me is how many people have high interest rate credit cards. You're paying double digits, some of them 16, 17, 18%. And that's almost impossible to get out from underneath that. If you have any equity in your home, I urge you, please call American Financing and see if you can get a consolidation loan to cover those credit cards and then get that debt under control and paid off as soon as you can. Because the interest rate on credit cards is going to go up. It's going to be harder and harder to get loans in the future. Please go to AmericanFinancing.net, AmericanFinancing.net, or call 800-906-2440. 800-906-2440, AmericanFinancing.net.
MLS 182334, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org.
Stay connected. AM Tampa Bay, weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on News Radio WFLA. Our 2019 iHeartRadio Music Festival. The artists you told us you love on the iHeartRadio app. Hosted by Ryan Seacrest from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Watch live on the CW app and CWTV.com. And listen on iHeartRadio this Friday and Saturday at 10 p.m.
Capital One is a proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival, bringing great products and access to unique and unforgettable experiences to our customers. What's in your wallet?
Did you know that the best time to put together a retirement plan was 20 years ago? The next best time is right now. I'm Steve Holland. For 30 years, I have helped hundreds of Tampa Bay families create retirement plans that are both tax-advantaged and inflation-adjusted. Let me help you. Text the word RETIRE directly to 474747 or visit us at AskSteveHolland.com.
Do you suffer from the pain, stiffness, or swelling because of psoriatic arthritis? ForeCare Research is conducting a clinical study for the treatment of psoriatic arthritis. Qualified participants can get medical care, access to study medication, and compensation for time and travel. To see if you qualify, call 813-264-2155 or visit forecaremed.com. That's 813-264-2155 or go to forecaremed.com.
As sports fans, our best days are filled with extraordinary performances. We thrive on heart-pounding competition, remarkable moments, and the joy of victory. Unfortunately, our days aren't always like this, but they can always be filled with extraordinary performance at Porsche of Tampa. In a Porsche sports car, you'll experience unforgettable moments every second of your drive. Make every day your best day in a Porsche 718 Cayman or Boxster, the sports car for the sports fan. Drive one today at Porsche of Tampa, PorscheofTampa.com.
Yeah, I just wish I could watch my son's soccer game without getting red, itchy eyes every time.
Honestly, I wish I could get my daughter the dog she really wants, but we're both allergic.
You know, I wish I could get through spring without having to stock up on all these allergy meds that don't even work.
Stop wishing you'll beat your allergies and finally do something about it. Aspire Allergy and Sinus. Our team helps thousands fight the battle against allergy and sinus issues every day, and we can help you too. Aren't you tired of round-the-clock sniffles and that constant irritation you feel all day long? And what about your sinus headaches and infections? Seriously, haven't you had enough? Set your appointment today with Aspire Allergy and Sinus. Call 813-437-3944. 813-437-3944. That's 813-437-3944. Call and set your appointment today. Aspire Allergy and Sinus.
It's Heidi Summers, health and wellness expert with your local health update. I get so many emails and calls about CBD, the incredible oil from the hemp plant that's being used to provide relief to millions for joint discomfort, inflammation, and nagging injuries. It's the most talked about alternative health breakthrough in years. The CBD product I always recommend comes from CBD Labs, the gold standard of CBD. CBD Labs oil goes to work fast to relieve your discomfort and deliver the results one thought nearly impossible without a prescription. This powerful oil is not marijuana and contains no THC, the ingredient that gets you high. Oh yeah, CBD Labs oil has also been used to help thousands get a great night's sleep. Don't be fooled by all the imitators. Call now and find out how to get a free bottle while supplies last.
To find out how to get a free bottle of CBD Labs CBD oil, call 800-605-9613. That's 800-605-9613. Free bottles for a limited time. Call now. 800-605-9613. 800-605-9613.
Win VIP tickets to see Barry Manilow live at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort with airfare and hotel included. To register, log on to newsradiowfla.com.
Welcome to the program. I'm so glad that you're here. We have a lot of things to cover today. We'll have more on Ilhan Omar, also Kavanaugh, the New York Times, and the new opium war. The new opium war. We were talking about China and drugs a few minutes ago. History doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes. We'll give you that coming up.
Listening to Glenn Beck.
Lightning Hurricanes, tonight at 7 on News Radio WFLA, the home of Lightning hockey.
Imagine if I only gave you part of a news story. It'd be pretty hard to follow. Well, that's what it may be like relying on monitoring your credit and your bank statements to help protect your identity. You could miss a really important part of the story. Sure, your bank and credit card companies can help detect fraud, but it may not monitor all the other ways your identity can be stolen, like when somebody opens up a new account or applies for a loan in your name. That's why there's LifeLock. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to alert you to a wide range of identity threats. Now, nobody can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but with LifeLock, they monitor more, and they can help you see the threats to your identity that you might otherwise miss on your own. Act now, and for a limited time, get 30% off your first year if you use the promo code BECK. 1-800-LifeLock or visit lifelock.com. Use the promo code BECK and save 30%. Offer expires October 6th. Don't wait. Join now. lifelock.com.
Brought to you by Valence Publishing. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions are posted at textrules.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated marketing messages by text. Message and data rates may apply.
Today, a professor who's lectured at Harvard University is unveiling one of the biggest investment breakthroughs of the 21st century. A new way to see which stocks could soon double or triple your money using the first ever truth detecting system for the U.S. stock market. Type in any stock ticker to see where it's really likely to go next. Using forensic analysis of company earnings you won't believe until you see it. Visit investmentdetector5.com, all one word, and learn how to try it for yourself today free. Professor Joel Littman will also share the #1 little stock you absolutely must buy now through a truth detecting system that's attracted more than half of the world's top 300 money managers. Again, go to investmentdetector5.com to try the investment truth detector now. Its findings have been featured in Barron's, CNBC, and the Harvard Business Review. Or text TRUTH to 246-810.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Tampa Bay's News Radio. 99.1 Newport Richey, 94.5 St. Pete, 105.9 Tampa, WXTB 97.9 HD2 Clearwater, 970 WFLA Tampa.
And online at WFLAnews.com.
Good morning, I'm Chris Trankman. Our top story at 10 o'clock. Hillsborough deputies are searching for clues at a home in Brandon after a woman was found dead on the 500 block of Clara Drive. Captain Preston Hollis with the Sheriff's Office says they were called out yesterday morning.
When deputies arrived on scene, it was apparent that the female was deceased, and had some upper body trauma.
It's the same house where Army veteran Ralph Wald shot and killed his wife's lover after catching her cheating in 2013. Wald was later acquitted, saying he thought his wife was being attacked. No arrests have been announced yet. In Tampa, jurors in the Granville Ritchie murder trial heard from the family friend who prosecutors say left the 9-year-old victim with the murder suspect. Ebony Wiley testified that she was going out to buy drugs and that she wasn't worried about leaving Felicia Williams, affectionately known as Sugar Plum, in Ritchie's care.
How he made me feel comfortable on the first night I met him, and how he made me feel when we went to go and pick up Sugar Plum. So it was like he had that concern of like a father figure.
The state says Ritchie killed the child and left her body in a suitcase off the Courtney Campbell Causeway. He could get the death penalty if convicted. A surprise as the CEO of the parent company of Busch Gardens and SeaWorld is out after just 7 months on the job.
SeaWorld Entertainment says Gustavo Antarca has stepped down from the top job, and Chief Financial Officer Mark Swanson is now the interim CEO. Swanson has been with the company 19 years. Antarca says he'll stay on to help with the transition. The company said in an SEC filing that Antarca resigned because of the board's involvement in decision-making. SeaWorld, which owns the SeaWorld and Busch Gardens theme parks, has had 3 different people in the corner office in the past year and a half. Mike Stevens, News Radio, WFLA.
Tampa Bay traffic and weather just moments away. With Florida's News, I'm Chris Trankman.
WFLA News, brought to you by Jerry Ulm Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hurricane Florence, I got about 1.5 feet of water downstairs.
Flood damage to your home and belongings can be devastating. Recovering might feel overwhelming, but with flood insurance, you have peace of mind knowing that you can rebuild and get back to doing the things you love.
My insurance agent was great. I got the check very quickly. I don't know what I would do without flood insurance.
Call your insurance agent or learn more at floodsmart.gov/storm. Brought to you by FEMA and its National Flood Insurance Program.
I want to tell you about the new Audibel via AI, the first hearing aid ever to use artificial intelligence to replicate normal hearing while relieving you of the unwanted noise. If you hear but don't always understand speech clearly, you're not alone. Millions of Americans struggle with speech clarity. To learn more about this amazing new technology, call the Audibel location nearest you to schedule a free hearing test or go to floridahearing.com. Remember, with Audibel, you always have a 45-day risk-free trial.
No one is above the law. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Jerry Nadler says, the Democrat who chairs the House Judiciary Committee and believes President Trump should be impeached. Planning to question 3 witnesses today, but 2 will not show up. Fox's John Decker is live at the White House.
President Trump has blocked 2 former aides, his former staff secretary Rob Porter and former deputy chief of staff Rick Dearborn, from testifying today before the House Judiciary Committee. The White House counsel, in a letter to the committee, said Porter and Dearborn are immune from compelled congressional testimony. The White House also directed former campaign manager Corey Lewandowski not to speak about conversations he had with the president in the Oval Office and only about his time working on the campaign. Dave?
Now, John, another House Democrat wants an impeachment inquiry into Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh over another sexual misconduct accusation from his college days. But at a rally in New Mexico last night, President Trump called for resignations at the New York Times over revising the initial reports.
They had to change their story. The woman said, I don't remember that. Table it, and they still want him to be impeached.
Attorney in New York City has subpoenaed 8 years of Trump tax returns.
As part of an ongoing investigation into what role the president and his family business played in hush money payments in the months before the 2016 election. The focus reportedly on a $130,000 payment made by the president's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, to porn actress Stormy Daniels, who alleged she had an affair with Mr. Trump years earlier.
Fox's Rick Leventhal yesterday, the president said it appears Iran is behind the attack on Saudi oil facilities, but France's foreign minister says they've seen no evidence to show that. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants a full House briefing on the attack. Republican Congressman Mike Turner told Fox.
There's going to need to be a response. I think the president is right to say that his actions are going to be coordinated and look to Saudi Arabia as
America's listening to Fox News.
From the Florida Central Credit Union Auto Loans Traffic Center, we slow westbound on I-4 from the Selma Connector into 275. Northbound 275 is looking slow from Kennedy into West Shore. Watch for a wreck northbound on Starkey at Bardmore. And there's an accident at Lois and Watrous. This report is sponsored by the Ad Council. A Attention all thrifters. Those awesome finds you get at Goodwill are even awesomer than you may realize, because as a nonprofit, Goodwill uses your purchases to fund job training and more in our neighborhoods. Learn more at goodwill.org. Daisy Ashers Radio, WFLA.
See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Traffic Tip Line, Hillsboro, 866-545-9595.
Still feels a little humid this morning, and temperatures will warm up quickly. We hit 93 this afternoon, but the humidity will start to come down during the afternoon, and that will also limit our rain chances. It should just be partly cloudy and mostly clear overnight, feeling pleasant with a low of 75. Tomorrow, adding in back a 20% rain chance, but comfortable and warm at 92. If you're out on the water today, north to northwest winds at 10 knots and a light chop on the bay. I'm News Channel 8 meteorologist Lee Fan.
Of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
The real drug war that's going on, the new trade war that is happening. Also, we have Ilhan Omar back in the news today for something new, and not some stupid comment she made, but for another piece of evidence that shows that she is not Omar. That's not her last name. Her father is not Omar. She gives us that evidence back in 2013. It was discovered late last night, on her Twitter feed, or I think her Instagram feed. She originally posted it on Instagram, then deleted it, but its trail was not deleted on Twitter until after about 2 hours of it being discovered. Then she deleted it early this morning. It's interesting, to say the least. Our message to Ilhan Omar in 1 minute.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
You know, living in America today, it would be really impossible to transact every piece of business that you do across the board with only businesses that contribute to conservative causes, or, you know, at least don't contribute to liberal ones. It's impossible to do that. However, there are times when giant corporations like AT&T are giving giant sums of money to Planned Parenthood and to things that you absolutely stand against. So now what are you going to do? How are you going to get along without your cell phone? Well, you don't have to. Patriot Mobile was created to give you a voice, literally and figuratively. With plans as low as $25 a month, you can get nationwide service and U.S.-based customer service. You're going to get the same coverage because they're on the same cell towers as all the others. Everybody's using the same cell towers. So you're going to get the same great coverage. You're going to get better customer service and a better price. Most importantly, you're going to be funding this veteran-led organization and veteran-created organization that is not standing against your values. Right now, if you switch, you can upgrade your phone to a brand new Moto Z3 Play for only $5 a month. That includes a 6-inch screen, expandable storage, high-quality camera, and so much more. Switching is easy. Go to patriotmobile.com/Beck. Select your plan. Save $180 if you want on a brand new Moto Z3 Play. Supplies are limited. Don't wait. Choose what companies you do business with. This one you can. You'll save money, and it's the same great service, except customer service is a little bit better, too. Save money. Do business. Put your money where your heart is. PatriotMobile.com/Beck. PatriotMobile.com/Beck.
Stay connected. Rush Limbaugh, weekdays noon to 3 on News Radio WFLA.
I want to make this really clear. I don't have a problem with Ilhan Omar because of her, because she's a Muslim. I don't have a problem with Muslims. I have a problem with Islamists. And I believe she is an Islamist. She supports Islamist organizations, CARE, Muslim Brotherhood.
What was the one sending her over to Israel?
MIFTA. I'll get into that here in a second.
Yeah.
She supports all the things that I think are really, really not good. And I don't have a problem with her coming from another country, Somalia. Somalia was a war-torn country. It was horrible. And I do want to be a place of refuge, but I want to be a place of refuge for people who want to be here and understand our culture. You know, we welcome refugees, but you have to be a part of America. Now, Ilhan Omar has a strange backstory, and there's new breaking news today, and you're probably hearing about it for the first time on this broadcast. It's only been broken on Twitter by Caleb Hull, and a few others now are starting to pick this up. This is something that we have been on for a while. And Congresswoman Omar, I invite you. I will never be nasty to you. I just want answers to questions. I invite you to be on this program. I invite you to come on television. I invite you to write to us and just answer a few questions. Because if this is false, America and I should know it. We should stop saying these things about you if it's false. But the evidence is overwhelming.
And luckily, you were incredibly helpful by aligning all, 15 questions on Twitter, and you tagged her in them so she would know where they are. She could easily go back and find them in her feed and just answer each one. She can do it publicly on Twitter if she wants. That's
and I'm going to add to that today, and I'm going to retweet all of these today.
Good. So it's easy for her. Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I said that she was, going to destroy America somehow or some way in a out of context Media Matters post. She was very upset that I was lying about her and that I had said she's trying to destroy America. So I guess the first question is, how are we lying? Please clear these things up. I'm going to give you a set of questions here, including the new tweet that came out, was discovered, that you made in 2013. That seems like, smoking gun kind of proof that, yep, you married your brother. So please respond, provide any information. First, destroy America. You're saying that I'm lying. I'd like to know how I'm lying. Now, the Destroy America line, like all Media Matter clips, was taken out of context. But how exactly would you describe behavior like embarking on a trip to Israel sponsored by MIFTA? MIFTA are anti-Semites. They published an American neo-Nazi treatise called Who Rules America? The alien grip on our news and entertainment media must be broken. This is one of the most vile, almost Hitler-esque kind of things I've ever read. It makes me uncomfortable to even read the words out loud. But that's who sponsored your trip to Israel. MIFTA also published blood libel, claiming Jews use the blood of Christians in the Jewish Passover. Really? This is who you find credible? They also celebrated a terrorist that killed 38 Israelis, including 13 children. I provide links for you, but I know you know this, but I'll provide all the links for you so you can see all of these stories and all the things that they are holding up.
That's helpful. She doesn't have to search for them, because that takes a lot of time, and she's a congresswoman.
MIFTA also celebrated a female suicide bomber named Wafa, calling her the beginning of a string of Palestinian women dedicated to sacrificing their lives for the cause.
Aww.
Now, does dealing with groups as vile as MIFTA demonstrate the love for America and our values that you claim to uphold? Hormud is something that you tweeted about. And I would just like to know, if you represent American values, can you help me out with a tweet where you said the United States must support Hormud? It is a telecom company in Somalia, and you say it does great things. However, Hormud has been identified by the United Nations, not exactly a right-wing organization, as a financier and supporter of the terror group Al-Shabaab, which is Al-Qaeda in Somalia. This is well documented. Are you working on the right side? Or are you knowingly engaging with all of these groups that happen to be aligned with terrorists and against I was going to say against the United States, but really against all mankind and freedom? Is becoming a United States elected official to promote UN-identified supporters of Al-Qaeda, is that becoming of an elected official here in the United States? Also, the allegation has been made that you married your brother. Now, this one, Ilan, is the easiest to disprove, but please do so. Now, I know this is complex because if you indeed did marry your brother, there's going to be a problem on fraud. There's also going to be an immigration fraud because you're not an Omar. And we understand, and I give you sympathy for being in a camp, a UN refugee camp, and having the opportunity to come here to the United States of America, and you come under a false name with another family. This is well documented that this is happening all over Somalia. It's why we had to stop so many people coming in from Somalia, because a good portion of people coming in are not who they say they were. Now, this allegation should be really easy to disprove, because if it's a nasty rumor, I want to help you squash it.
Every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com. WFLA News, brought to you by Stingray Chevrolet. When you need to know, this is News Radio, WFLA.
An iHeart radio station.
Good morning. I'm Chris Trankman. Our top story at 10:30. The murder trial of Granville Ritchie continues today. The Tampa man's accused of sexually assaulting and strangling a 9-year-old girl in 2014, then dumping her body near a Bay Area bridge. Ebony Wiley, a family friend and godmother of Felicia Williams, told jurors about what happened the day Williams disappeared. Now she helps Ritchie initially cover up the girl's disappearance.
You said you prayed in the closet. What was the next thing you then did? Had Felicia returned during that time?
No, she did not.
So what did you do next?
So I came out. He was rolling the blunt, and I took a drink, and he proceeded sexual towards me, and we had sex.
And where is it that you had sex that time?
Right there in the front room floor. Right there in the front room floor.
Wiley says she left Williams alone with Ritchie to buy marijuana. That's when he allegedly killed her. Pinellas County residents are enjoying an unusual sight. 5 dolphins, including a baby, have been seen swimming in a St. Petersburg canal near 4th Street North. The FWC believes the dolphins are trying to get back to the bay, but appear to be lost. The agency says that the dolphins can't find their own way back. Officials in kayaks will try to lead them back out to the bay. Tampa Bay traffic and weather just moments away. With Florida's News, I'm Chris Trankman.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Iran's supreme leader says no to any talks with President Trump.
Ayatollah Ali Khamenei saying there will be no negotiations with the United States unless the U.S. returns to the Iran nuclear deal. There had been talk of a possible meeting between the president and his Iranian counterpart at the UN in New York.
Fox's Simon Owen. The United Nations General Assembly starts today. President Trump attends next week. A wealthy Mexican property developer is facing charges in his son's death.
Javier Barrio is facing charges in the U.S. after the boating death of his 11-year-old son in San Francisco Bay waters.
The officers in interviewing him determined they had probable cause to make an arrest for intoxication.
Tiburon Police Chief Michael Cronin. Barrio's son was thrown from their boat after hitting a wave in open water. The child was then struck by the vessel. Barrio is facing manslaughter and other charges.
Fox's Tom Graham. America's listening to Fox News.
Florida Central Credit Union Auto Loans Traffic Center. We're quiet on our area interstates, expressways, and bridges. Still have eastbound State Road 60 closed in Mulberry, approaching Bailey Road with a serious accident investigation. Also, Rick at Hayes and Hudson, and an accident northbound on Starkey at Bardmore Boulevard. This report is sponsored by Compassion International. Right now, there's a child living in extreme poverty with no future and no hope. But you can bring hope when you become a Compassion International sponsor. Just text the word child to 83393 and sponsor a child right now. Daisy Actions Radio, WFLA.
See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Traffic Tip Line, Hillsboro. 866-545-9595.
Still feels a little humid this morning, and temperatures will warm up quickly. We hit 93 this afternoon, but the humidity will start to come down during the afternoon, and that will also limit our rain chances. It should just be partly cloudy and mostly clear overnight, feeling pleasant with a low of 75. Tomorrow, adding in back a 20% rain chance, but comfortable and warm at 92. If you're out on the water today, north to northwest winds at 10 knots and a light chop on the bay. I'm News Channel 8 meteorologist Lee Spann.
Hi, it's Glenn Beck. And did you know that there's an app out there that gives you money every time you put gas in your car? The app is Get Upside. It's free to download, free to use. The Get Upside app is going to give you up to 25 cents per gallon cash back every time you pump. Or just let the cash build up in your account. The Get Upside app. It's really easy to use. Just choose the gas station and the cashback offer that you want to claim. Grab your receipt to upload using the app, and the money appears within your account within 24 hours. Download the Get Upside app right now. Use the promo code BECK for up to 45 cents per gallon cash back on your first fill-up. Get Upside. Promo code BECK.
Crabgrass, dollar weeds, what's going on with your lawn and garden? Get the information and nip things in the bud. Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on News Radio WFLA with Florida Gardening's Mark Govan. Presented by Graham Capital Advisors. Go to grahamcapitaladvisors.com to grow your retirement money.
It's the Battle of the Bay, and only one team will win. The Tampa Bay Food Fight returns to the St. Pete Coliseum Tuesday, October 1st. You don't want to miss the action. Tickets are on sale now at tampabayfoodfight.org. Be there as 50 restaurants from both sides of the bay prepare their signature dishes, plus live music, auction, and the main event inside the ring. General admission tickets include food and drinks. Proceeds benefit the Metropolitan Ministries Culinary Arts Program. Visit tampabayfoodfight.org.
From the Audibel Hearing Aid Studios, this is News Radio WFLA.
Cokie Roberts has passed away today. Sad news. I mean, it's like yesterday I found out about Rick Ocasek from the Cars dying, and I'm thinking, what did he die of? Old age? I mean, he was 75, 77. Cokie Roberts was 75. So, thought I'd let you know. Let me go to John Ziegler. John is a senior columnist at Mediaite. He is the host of Individual One podcast. He has written a great couple of stories now on this bombshell that ends up blowing up the New York Times on Brett Kavanaugh. Welcome to the program, John. How are you?
Always good to be with you, Glenn.
Yeah. So, John, let's start with the Kavanaugh story that you wrote on Sunday. It was a fascinating story about, how much they really left out of this story. It's not just that the accuser has no accusation because they don't remember any of it. It's who made this allegation.
Yeah, well, it's actually, Glenn, it is almost impossible to fully encapsulate all the problems with the New York Times story in one column. I mean, being very literal about that. And I actually think that while the conservative media has done a really good job on some aspects of the story, there are obvious aspects like the one you just mentioned that they didn't mention. Oh, by the way, the alleged victim of the second episode that is supposed to be this bombshell has no knowledge of this, and her friends say that they don't believe that it happened. They leave that out. That would be a big enough problem as it is. But I think we're missing something with regard to who the witness is. And it's not just political bias. This guy is a guy by the name of Max Stier. And when I read the original article, I didn't know who Max Stier was. And it referred to him as a thought leader who works at a D.C. nonprofit. Now, I have a pretty good BS detector. When I read that, I'm like, wow,
That's
I'm
like
at 11.
The Patriot Act.
I'm at an 11 on who this guy is.
Right.
So who is this guy? Well, we now learn that he was one of Bill Clinton's defense attorneys during his impeachment, which would automatically show at least some bias, but I'm not even worried about the bias element or the potential political motivation. Let's go back to the Clinton impeachment. Who was on the other side of that battle? Ken Starr's primary deputy was Brett Kavanaugh. What was one of the major allegations against Bill Clinton that led to that whole situation? Him exposing himself to Paula Jones, which started that lawsuit. So let's go back to this, Glenn. Let's think about the absurdity of this. So Glenn Stier, in the midst of this incredibly intense impeachment battle, knows that his classmate from Yale, Brett Kavanaugh, is a guy who he witnessed doing exactly the same thing that Bill Clinton is being accused of, and he never mentions this to anybody?
That is such an amazing piece of evidence. That is, to me, when I read this from you yesterday, I thought to myself, that is the most damning piece of evidence on this article than anything else. They didn't think that the guy who was coming after his client, Bill Clinton, He had witnessed, that attorney had witnessed him do exactly the same thing as he was investigating on the president, and he wouldn't bring that up? He wouldn't expose that? Impossible.
Exactly. And what's remarkable to me is that I'm the only one I know of that's really made a big deal out of this.
Yeah.
And it's not because I'm any great shakes. As you guys know, I'm very disoriented in this story because I'm actually defending somebody I like, and I might actually win on this one. That's very strange for me. that never happens. So, but I really honestly believe that the biggest problem here is that there's so many issues in the story. I mean, they leave out their biggest bombshell. There is a bombshell in this new book by these Times reporters who clearly now, as we're learning more, snuck this into the New York Times. This was snuck in on a weekend in a story that was labeled something totally different about Yale's culture, and they snuck these things in there that did not pass muster on the news side. But the biggest bombshell this book has isn't even in the article, which is that Leland Kaiser is now on the record for the first time. Leland Kaiser, Christine Ford's best friend at the time, who was allegedly at this party, which has no place and no date, no year even, no way of getting home, no way of getting there, all sorts of problems. But she is now on the record saying that it makes no sense to her, this story, and that she has no confidence in it, and that she was the victim of an intimidation campaign of Ford allies to try to get her to lie on her behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go to journalism school to know that's an actual bombshell, and that's not even in the story. And it's not in the story because it doesn't fit the narrative that the New York Times and their liberal subscriber base wants. In fact, they would probably have gotten irate if the New York Times had given that the weight that it deserved, because I believe it shows that Brett Kavanaugh is an innocent man, not someone who you can't prove this about. He's totally innocent, and that the Ramirez story that this Times piece was focused on is an urban legend. You want to know the closest thing I can come up with to this? Remember the Richard Gere gerbil story?
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is maybe somebody actually did have a gerbil removed from them in a hospital sometime, and then it somehow got attached to Richard Gere's name. Well, Brett Kavanaugh was the most famous person to come out of that fraternity at Yale. Something happened to Deborah Ramirez, and many, many years later, when it became politically feasible, it got attached to Brett Kavanaugh, and that's what happened here. It did not actually happen. There's zero evidence, when there should be plenty, that Brett Kavanaugh did anything to Deborah Ramirez, and I believe that the Ford story is a therapy-created memory where Ford was trying to save her marriage and came up with a reason for why she was a nut job, and used Brett Kavanaugh because he was also famous at the time, and she's a lefty, and she's a righty.
I will tell you this. I think this is the first time that you don't really have he said, she said in this particular case that they are running on now, and trying to impeach him today, trying to get Congress to go along to impeach him on this story.
They all jumped on it before they had any of these facts. All these politicians, Ocasio-Cortez, and Kamala Harris, they all just ran with it with no evidence at all.
Correct. So they have this, but because of who made the allegation,
that achieve two important goals in weight loss. One, telling your brain that you're satisfied so you eat less, and two, improving the action of the hormone insulin. As medical doctor Mark Hyman said in his best-selling book, Eat Fat, Get Thin, if you choose to use only one supplement, PGX is the most important. If you've ever tried to lose weight and failed, you need the tremendous support of PGX from Natural Factors. For more information on making your weight loss dream a near effortless reality, visit pgx.com.
Have you experienced the wisdom of nature with Zyflamend Whole Body from New Chapter? Zyflamend is a 10-herb blend that delivers 3 health benefits. First, Zyflamend is an herbal approach to pain relief, helping to soothe minor pain or soreness. Second, Zyflamend is a joint supplement with time-tested herbs to support joint function and flexibility. And the third benefit, Zyflamend supports the body's healthy inflammation response, something that's essential for maintaining whole body health. Zyflamend is New Chapter's clinically tested blend of 10 remarkable herbs, including pure and potent turmeric, ginger, and green tea. Zyflamend is non-GMO, project verified, gluten-free, and 100% vegetarian. New Chapter is a leader in supplement quality. Every ingredient, every product, every time. Discover Zyflamend, New Chapter's #1 selling multi-herbal. Zyflamend is made with ginger for occasional pain relief after exercise. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The ever-increasing stress and toxicity we are exposed to from our environment, diets, and lifestyles make internal cleansing a necessary part of a good health regimen. Founded in 1980, Yerba Prima was the first company to launch a whole-body internal cleansing kit. Since that time, they have continued to develop and manufacture a complete range of all-natural, high-quality fiber and internal cleansing products. By using all-natural psyllium fiber and no harmful stimulant laxatives, all Yerba Prima fiber and internal cleansing products can be used over a long period of time to ensure optimal health and regularity. With nearly 30 years dedicated to all-natural cleansing products, it's easy to see why Yerba Prima is a leader in the fiber and cleansing products category. Learn more at yerbaprima.com, YERBAPRIMA.com, or visit your local health retailer. Yerba Prima, pioneer in internal cleansing products.
Michael Garko, host of Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. You can get more information about the show on my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station. If you want to find out more about the show, visit my website at letstalknutrition.com. That's letstalknutrition.com. This is Dr. Michael Garko, and you're listening to Let's Talk Nutrition on this station.
Let's Talk Nutrition is brought to you by American Biotech Labs, your daily immune system support. Ridgecrest Herbals, take your health to a higher elevation. Ancient Nutrition, nutrition for a modern world. New Chapter, the benefit of nature's wisdom. North American Herb and Spice, wellness for life. Let's Talk Nutrition on the web at letstalknutrition.com. We're back from the break, so let's rejoin Dr. Michael Garko.
Here's the LTN health question of the day. This will be easy. You shouldn't have any problem with this. It will be obvious to you what the answer is. I had several questions here. Ask this one. How do bacteria get onto the food and then multiply if not handled, if not treated? Which of the following is responsible for bacteria getting into your food or on the food? Dirty hands, dirty utensils, on the farm, raw meats, bacteria, or all of the above. Which one of those is responsible for bacteria getting onto food? Dirty hands, dirty utensils, on the farm, raw meats, bacteria, or all of the above. Here's the number to call to win a $25 supplement gift card.
877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK.
Bacteria need food, water, and a favorable temperature to grow. Remember that. Over time, the bacteria can grow from just a few organisms to thousands. It doesn't take long. And if you can control the food, the water, the temperature, and the time, you can prevent bacteria from growing, right? Now, food temperature danger zone. I'm going to repeat it again. It's 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Potentially hazardous food left in that danger zone for over 4 hours needs to be discarded. Let's say, for example, you went shopping, you came home, and you bought some meat, chicken, and you unpack and you put everything on the counter. You get a phone call, and you have to leave the house right away. It's some sort of emergency. You got to get back, whatever. And you leave, and you're gone for 5 to 6 hours. When you come back home, that chicken that you left out, pitch it. Throw it out. It's done. If in that 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 145 degrees Fahrenheit, unless you had your house at 32 degrees, if you had your house at 0, which is 0.4 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 18 degrees centigrade, minus 18 degrees centigrade.
Something wrong with you.
No growth. I don't want to see your electric bill. So that danger zone, if potentially hazardous food is left in the danger zone, bacteria will grow. If it's left in the danger zone for more than 4 hours, you got to discard it. If it's a raw food, you got to throw it out. The danger zone, again, is bacteria will grow between 41 degrees to 145 degrees. And bacteria grow real quickly between 68 degrees Fahrenheit and 122 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just saying. Refrigerators should be kept below 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Freezer should be kept at below 0. And steam tables and other hot holding should be kept above 135 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just saying. What else can I tell you? There's so many things. Ready to eat potentially hazardous food that will be held for more than 24 hours must be date marked. That doesn't must be discarded after 7 days. Deli meats, these pasta salads and cut fruits and all of that. I don't know. Leaving them in the refrigerator for a week and then eating them? I don't think so, man.
I feel like you got to eat it the same week you buy it.
How about the same day?
I've left like grapes and stuff like that.
I'm talking about
like the sliced fruit in the packages that you could get from like Publix.
Pasta salads. They sometimes put mayonnaise and stuff like that. Deli meats, cut fruits. I mean, you may even put it in a container.
I don't touch that stuff at barbecues either because it's been sitting out, and anything with mayonnaise in it, I'm really weird about that.
You got mayonnaise, boy, having a picnic and out in the heat and the sun all day long. Oh, no.
I don't eat mayonnaise.
I had the opportunity while I was gone. I ordered a Beyond Burger. That's a meatless burger.
The competitor to the Impossible
Burger. We had one of those executives, an executive from Burger King, and when they launched their Impossible Burger, and we had some in studio. Katie arranged to get some, and I ate one.
Yum.
It was really good. I had the Beyond Burger. If you forced me to make a decision, I'd go with the Impossible. For me.
Was it from a restaurant?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in a restaurant. Now, maybe they cooked it improperly, and maybe I should give it another shot. But that Impossible Burger from Burger King, I had some colleagues I was traveling with. They were talking about it, and they said, smelled like meat, looked like meat, tastes like meat. And then when I told them, I said, the secret ingredient is heme, from hemoglobin. Heme, it carries iron in the blood. But I said, oh, they got this from an animal. I said, no. They get the heme from the root of a soy plant. That's where they get that compound. Heme is the trick. I got off topic, but that's okay. I like the Impossible Burger. It was pretty good, man.
It was.
Connie and Brandon. Connie, welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. It's all the above.
Yeah, all of those things.
To the question.
All of those things will cause bacteria to grow. Dirty hands, dirty utensils, being on the farm, yeah, raw meats, bacteria, all of those contribute to bacterial growth. Congratulations, you won a $25.
Thank you so much.
Did you ever have food poisoning?
Not really. My son did many years ago. He kept throwing up every hour, yeah, because he ate at the cafeteria at the job and all. So that must have,
Every time.
It must be terrible, yeah, food poisoning.
Congratulations. You won a $25 gift card. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you.
Thank you for your program.
My pleasure. 145 degrees for 15 seconds for eggs and fish. That's minimum cooking time. 155 degrees for 15 seconds for meats. That's minimum cooking time. Some people like that, and I'll pass. 165 degrees, 15 seconds for poultry, wild game, and stuffed meats. Minimum. LTN, where your health is your wealth. Don't get food poisoning.
Everyone's raving about the newest botanical superstar hitting the store shelves nationwide. Hemp-derived cannabidiol, or CBD, has been receiving a lot of attention for its tremendous promise on human health. Plus, CBD oil by CV Sciences is the trusted brand setting the standards in this newly emerging